And it's a very good morning to the gelding on an overcast and rainy day in Melbourne. But once again, gelding, we're going across the border to Morphettville because we had a little bit of luck there last week. And why not continue as we did last week, go a little bit better. 4 placings last week, including a winner. What do you think today?
Good morning, Professor. Good morning, listeners. Yes, main carnival in Adelaide, so let's stick there, Professor. If our listeners follow us last week, they might have had a bit of a fill-up. You know, we're a little bit stiff not to get the 4 winners, but the 4-place parlay certainly was a bit of a reward for us, Professor.
Yeah, it was, gelding. So this is day 3 of the Morphettville Carnival. And after last week's success, I'm hoping that we'll improve on that. 9-race card with the feature race, race 8, the Group 1 SA Derby. The track rated a soft 5, the rail out 3 metres for the entire circuit. What are your 2 best bets for today?
Professor, not getting very inventive today, but look, more with an eye to the parlays, Professor, my tips. So could I suggest to them, before I get knocked from that big colt up in Sydney, we'll be looking at. I still can't get over a man in his 60s, Professor, calling himself a colt. But anyway, that's another story. But look, I like a horse we were on 2 weeks ago in Adelaide, race 7, number 1, Illustration. This horse won by 5 lengths last start. Ease down, Professor. It's had 2 starts for 2 wins. Total each start it's won by 5 lengths, and it's $1.30, Professor. But a good little 30% increase on your parlays is the thinking of it. So let's go race 7, number 1. Mick Price has said he's got a dilemma with this horse. He doesn't know whether he's going to spell it after today's run, and he doesn't know whether to prepare it for an $8 million Golden Eagle in the spring or to prepare it for a Cox Plate. Now, if you've got a trainer of Mick Price's ability talking about an $8 million race and a Cox Plate for the best horses, Professor, what should a horse do in a 3-year-old listed race in South Australia?
It should SH1T it in, gelding.
Yeah, so we'll go race 7, number 1, Illustration, and I think it's probably the bet of the day, Professor. We'll then go to the Derby. Probably break one of the rules. We're going race 8, number 1, Allegron. Blue Army, James Cumming horse, Professor, showing about 280.
I like it. I like the tip so far. Tell me more.
This horse has run 2nd in a Victorian Derby over 2,500. Ran 3rd in the AJC Derby, Professor. So it's proven over the distance. Was beaten by a Totsu in both of those starts, which you're talking about being a weight for age horse next year. So, to be beaten under a length by that horse should go very well. 2 worries, Professor, about Allegron. D. Oliver on a favourite. A little bit of a concern there with the way we're going, but hopefully Damien can put this horse and ride it like it did in the St. Ledger, where it won quite easily last start. And again, the danger to that would be Detonated Jack. May Eustace, John Allen, horses won 3 out of 3. The only reason I'm going for Allegron is this horse has proven in these derbies with the 2nd and the 3rd. Detonated Jack's got to get the 2,500, Professor. And what do you like, Professor?
All right, gelding, I'm going early. I like a horse in race 3, the SA Size Produce Stakes, a 1,400-metre race for 2-year-olds. It's a Group 3. In that race, gelding, I like horse 2, King's Consort, coming out of barrier 10, had 4 starts for a win and 2 placings. So a 25% win rate, 75% place rate. Its last start, it won the Vobis Showdown at Caulfield Gelding. How would you like to be the owner who steps up for the $550,000 paycheck in your fourth race?
Happy to back any horse, Professor, that wins $1 million race. if a horse is capable of winning $1 million race, I think we're happy to be on board.
Yeah, I watched it gelding. It came home like a train. I know it's a step up in class, but I think it's got these horses covered. It's got Mark Zahra in the saddle, who's in superlative form at the moment, gelding. His career win rate 12%, but over the last 50, 26%.
Well, trying to make up some money from that big suspension he had, Professor.
Well, yes, an incentive, shall we say?
Yeah, very much an incentive.
All right, gelding, and it's trained by the Freedmans, who are also in career best form, 16% for their career, but 22% over their last 50, a 42% place rate. So I'm quite happy with this. $4.20 on the tote, gelding, with $1.60. So good each way odds for the punters.
Yes.
And
I like it, Professor.
And let's go with race 5, the SA Sprint Series final over 1,100 metres, a benchmark 82 race. There's 2 horses in this race, gelding, but I prefer the top weight, horse number 1, Calypso Rain, coming out of barrier 5. 22 starts for 5 wins and 5 places, so a 23% win rate, a 45% place rate. Second up, it's 4 starts for 2 wins. It won its last start. It's won at this track. It's won over the distance, so there's a lot to like about it. It's got a withering finish, gelding. I watched its last race. It was blocked for a run in the straight, still managed to barge through and won by half a length going away. So at $6 and $2.20, great value for punters. It's being ridden by Kayla Crowther, a 23-year-old gelding. She's been riding since she was 18. She's won $11.5 million in stakes money. Now, that's when you take your 5%. She's made quite a handy living over her first 5 years of being in the game, gelding.
Do you reckon she's got a nice house over there in Adelaide, Professor?
I would have thought so, gelding, and she's in career form. 15% win rate, 28% over the last 50. A lot to like.
Right, Professor. She's now this is going to be a pretty big rap. She's following the footsteps of Jamie Carr, Professor.
I was about to say.
She's one of South Australians' leading jockey, and the girl can ride.
Well, that makes me feel all the better. And the Goolwa trainer, David Jolly, is training this horse. He's in career form too, 15% for his career, 22% over the last 50. And, you know, what I like, gelding, winning form is good form. So race 3, horse 2, King's Consort. Race 5, horse 1, Calypso Rain. And now to the Professor's Parlay.
The very frustrating or very successful Professor's Parlay.
The frustratingly successful Professor's Parlay.
Yeah.
Or successfully frustrating.
Yes.
I think it's become the successfully frustrating Professor's Parlay.
Well,
the agreed bet of the day between you and I, gelding, race 7, horse 1, Elation. And let's parlay that into Port Adelaide power to beat North Melbourne. Port Adelaide have won 3 in a row, so they're straightening up their season. If they win this one, they've certainly got a chance of playing finals. North Melbourne, the season to forget, 1 win from 8 starts, a 55.6%. Their only win, West Coast, who are below them on the ladder at 18th. So not a lot to like about North Melbourne, a lot to like about Port Adelaide at the moment. In Port, we trust, gelding.
Yes, Professor. They got their season back on board and they're starting to play like the final side they were last year, Professor.
Exactly, gelding. And let's parlay that.
Very good. Very, very good pick there.
Yes, gelding. And let's parlay that into the North Queensland Cowboys playing our bogey side, the West Tigers.
Oh, Professor. Oh, I will be hanging on, Professor. They've knocked us twice, the West Tigers, but obviously you're not rating them.
No, gelding. No, not at all. I'll tell you why. North Queensland sitting third on the ladder, 6 wins from 9 starts, points differential of plus 102, which is the third best in the comp.
Yep.
West Tigers, third last on the ladder, 2 wins, and the only 2 wins that they've had is when they've torpedoed our parlay, Gelding. 2
When
wins
you're
from
backed
9
against
starts,
them, Professor.
minus 82 points differentials. Gelding, there's nearly a 200 points differential between the 2 teams.
Look, Professor, I liked it. I think you're spot on. My people in Sydney tell me the West Tigers aren't that good, and even their supporters were a bit surprised at their 2 wins. I just find it, I panic when you do it, because the only 2 wins are when we've been against them.
Yeah.
But third time lucky for us, Professor.
Tell you what, Gelding, there's nobody more surprised than me that they've got 2 wins, that's for sure.
Yep.
All right,
I'm with you.
the parlay showing 3-1, Gelding.
That's not bad, Professor.
No, especially where there's some shorties in there. So
There's some short ones there, but as we said, hopefully the horse legging irritation gets up and we're away.
Yeah, well, as my grandmother used to say, little fish are sweet.
Beautiful, Professor. I like the saying.
All right, now tomorrow, an action-packed Sports Fan Radio, Gelding, on at midday on the Sports Fan Radio YouTube channel. Not 1 special guest, 2 special guests.
2 special guests.
Yeah, we've got friend of the show and 3-time world boxing champion Susie Ramadan coming on.
Yep.
To talk about what may be a comeback.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. So thought she's been on the show 3 times before. So always great to talk with her.
Yep.
And also
always a danger when she was in the studio, Professor.
Yeah, you just
you have to be careful what you say.
Yeah, you keep your chin down and mind what
Tuck
you say.
Tuck up. Yeah, get in there.
And as the referees say, and protect yourselves at all times.
Yeah.
And Gelding, given the furore that's developing in the AFLW, we've got AFLW commentator Lisa Caddo coming on. She's been on the show a couple of times before too. So
Lisa won't hold back. I'll be interested in that.
Yeah, so a huge day for Sports Fan Radio viewers.
Lovely.
We're working on these special guests, Gelding, and we're seeing a increase in the number of people who are watching the show too. So that's excellent.
Fantastic. And Professor, just well done for last week with Brad Johnson. I thought he was fantastic. Yeah,
it was terrific, wasn't it, Gelding? I really enjoyed it.
Really good.
All right, Gelding. Well, yes, go on.
Successful day today, Professor. Hopefully, and I'll be in contact with you via text message, as I believe you've got another commitment today.
Yes, Gelding. I'll be at Yarragon today, calling the footy for SEN, Yarragon versus Trafalgar for the Waterloo Cup.
So we can listen to you on the radio, Professor.
Yeah, you can listen to me. Download the SEN app and you can listen to me. I'm taking over one media enterprise at a time, Gelding. No, it's only a good friend of mine, the Wiz, is crook with the flu, and he rang yesterday and asked if I could be involved, and I said, yeah, only too happy to. So it's only a 1-week gig, Gelding. That's all I want. I was going to head to Traralgon, but that's been torpedoed. So I don't have as far to go.
Yeah, well, Professor, yes, one media station at a time for you, and will this mean you'll be departing your day job shortly, or?
Oh, no chance of that, Gelding.
No chance of that. We couldn't get on your coattails, could we?
No, unfortunately. But if something happens, I'll certainly let you know.
Okay.
All right, Gelding. Well, you're having a little bit of a break, flying overseas. So what I'll say to you is, until 3 weeks' time.
Yes.
It's good.